So tonight we're going to talk about reigning and ruling. What does that look like? What does that mean? And why is it that God says that we will reign and rule with Him? How is that possible? Um, you know, in the sense of what is it? What does reigning and ruling for the kingdom of Papa look like? What does that mean, even to do that? And do you know where it's even found or where it's talked about? Where does this come from? Maybe you've heard about this. Maybe you never have. Maybe it's like, what? Reign and rule with him. Where does that concept come from? In Revelation 20, verses 6, I want to read about it. Depending on where you believe or your current understanding, what I understand and what I know, there will come a time where we will uh, experience what they call the millennial reign. Verse 4 is where it starts talking about it. In verse 1, Revelation chapter 20, verses 1 through 3, it kind of talks about Satan being bound. And then I saw an angel. We can start right at verse 1. Descending from heaven, I'm reading in the Amplified Version, by the way, holding the key of the abyss, the bottomless pit, and great chain was in his hand, and he overpowered and laid hold of the dragon, that old serpent, who is the devil, Satan, and bound him securely for 1,000 years. So I think it's really cool that we're talking about this and bringing this up because you can't say the devil made me do it anymore. But what is this 1,000 year reign all about? When is it? How does it take place? Lots of different aspects out there of it. And it says, and so, all right, the old serpent who is the devil and Satan and bound him securely for 1,000 years, a millennium. And the angel hurled him into the abyss and closed it and sealed it above him, preventing his escape or rescue, so that he would no longer deceive and seduce the nations until the 1,000 years were at an end. After these things, he must be liberated for a short time. Okay, so that's verses 1, 2, and 3. So we kind of see here getting set up in Revelation 20, the millennial reign, the millennial time, 1,000 year of reign. And then verse 4 says, then I saw thrones, and sitting on them were those to whom judgment, that is, the authority to act as judges, was given. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of their testimony of Jesus and because of the word of God, and those who had refused to worship the beast or his image and had not accepted his mark on their forehead and on their hand. And they came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come to life again until the 1,000 years were completed. This is the first resurrection. Blessed, happy, prosperous, holy is the person who takes part in the first resurrection. Over these of the second death, which eternal separation from God, has no power or authority, but they will be priests of God and Christ, and they will reign with him 1,000 years. So, who are these people that are blessed, happy, prosperous, admired, and holy? And they take, again, according to this translation, take part in the first resurrection. Well, again, and verse 7 says, and when the 1,000 years are completed. So it's really fascinating. So now let's just talk about this. Like 1,000 years, and wait. Some people are reigning with him. Well, how is this possible? And who are those people? It says in that verse 6 there, when we break it down, blessed are holy, the one having a part in the resurrection, first over these, the second death, not has power. But they will be priests of God and of Christ, and will reign with him 1,000 years. So what does it mean to be a priest? It means to be a priest is a high priest or a hieros, which is sacred and holy. And so it is, I'm pulling up some more definitions about it, which offers sacrifices, could be purified ones, brought close to God, devoted their life to him alone. That's one of the things that comes up here. priestly origins or Old Covenant type background, Levitical system. And it says, too, by the first century, priests were numerous, organized into 24 courses, priestly service and acts. So we see different examples and what that looks like. Now, here's what I want to challenge you with is who are those, if we've got some that will be reigning and ruling with him, how is God going to decide who they are, who those people are? That's what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. I believe that there is a calling on your life and my life to live according to his word, to become the ones that would reign and rule with him. How is he going to base this on? But there are many promises. That's not the only one. But it's in Revelation 2:26, it talks about authority over nations. The one who overcomes, to him I will give authority over the nations. Overcomers are men who walk in their true dunamis identity, their true empowered identity, and men who love well, and men who have mastered their mind and have a sound mind by mastering emotions, having self-control, self-discipline, willingness to do great things. You have to take great risk. So what does that look like then? And how is this possible? How do we gauge it? How do we know who's who or what, right? Do you ever think of these things? Or maybe this is the very first time you've even thought about this or looked at this as a thing, as far as like millennial reign, reigning and ruling with God. I've been thinking about this for a very, very long time, many, many years. I would dare to say probably since I first saw this, maybe in my late teens. And I just turned November 21st. I had my birthday, and thank you for all the birthday wishes and love. But I turned 49. I was born in 1976. It's kind of weird to be 49 now. Everyone's like, that's old. How are you still alive? I know I used to think the same thing, but 49 years old. And when I think about how long I've been thinking about this stuff, it's like since I was probably 17, 16, 17, 18, maybe. So at least 30 years I've been processing through, working on this. And to be honest, secretly developing a strategy and a process that would make you, I guess, qualified. I guess that's the only way you can really say it. We talk about priests and what that looks like, and you can tie it to the priest of your home, like how important that is to be the priest of your home. What does that look like to be a priest? Someone that has leadership qualifications, someone that is qualified would be someone that is loving and connecting to the Father. Now, let's go here. For I have not given you the spirit of fear. I have not given you, God says he is not giving you the spirit of shrinking back. So what has he given you? He's giving you the power of dunamis, confidence in that. But what's that confidence connected to? Directly to your identity. He's giving you also love, but not just any love, unconditional love. And it's amazing. And he's giving you a third thing, this mind right here. He intended it for you to have a sound mind, not confusion, not chaos, not the crazy roller coasters in our mentality, but a sound mind. And how does that come? From mastering our emotions, mastering our breathing will literally allow us to master our mind and have self-control, self-discipline. And you will then have a sound mind, a strong, sound mind, not full of all the confusion, chaos that news, fake news, real news, whatever it is, chaos does to you. Fear, doubt, insecurities, that will kill your confidence for sure. So that's why it's important. We have love, that we have this mind. We create what we want by creating by what we allow to go into our mind. That has to do with music. That has to do with audios, videos, speakers, trainers, news, fake news. things that are causing you stress and anxiety. What's it all for? This is real stuff. Real life, practical application. Are you walking in faith, walking in strength, walking in confidence, walking in love, and walking in his power? Dunamis? The very power that raised Yeshua, Jesus Christ, from the dead. Dunamis. And what's interesting, we talked about the talents, right? Some of you maybe have been following me, the different videos I've been creating, the talks we've been having about the man who was given the talents. He invested and was given talents according to their abilities, is what a lot of translations say. Do you know what word it is? Dunamis. So they were given the talents. By the way, our pastor did some research on this too, and I was saying 15 years of income. He said it's equivalent to 20 years, up to 20 years of income. That's one talent. That one guy that had some fear issues that we're going to talk about, right? He was given 20 years worth of the average income. That's a lot. Woo, I'm telling you. Then the next guy was given 3 talents, and the next guy 5. And they were given the talents. They were given the money. They were given the abundance. They were given the wealth. They were given things, influence, tangible things. Based on what? Their dunamis. I want you to pause for a minute. Oh, wait, I thought you said dunamis meant like confidence and it says it's translated to abilities. Yes. So then how does the ability, the confidence raise the same word that raised Yeshua, Jesus, from the dead? How's that possible? It's kind of confusing, right? It's not. It's all very, very purposeful. And I want you to understand how purposeful this really is. Dunamis is empowering you and your identity so you know who you are. And guess what? You're not alone. It was used for not only to raise Yeshua from the dead, but it was used to describe Moses. It was used to describe Joseph. It was used to describe Samson. It was used to describe David. There are mighty men of valor and confidence and strength, mighty conquerors, shining bright with love, that your weapon is love. Sound familiar? If you came to our Epic Intensive, you heard these very things. Is that's what a shining conqueror was. And it's so crazy, like God said, this is your Epic Intensive, like it was our theme, was shining conquerors. And what did we look up? Alexander the Great, who never, ever in his 20s lost a battle. And he took over 1 million square miles of territory. Now, it's interesting because the correlation you see of Alexander the Great and what Joshua did to take the land filled with milk and honey, but he didn't just get it for free. He had to do the work. Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to do whatever it takes to get that which you have been called to have? Now you're like, oh, is this all about money? I don't know. What is it for you? What do you want? What dreams? What goals? Does it require money to have that? To get more territory, more land, to have milk and honey in abundance? Do you think you might need some money? All right, someone challenged me with that. Well, it's only, the kingdom of God isn't about money. And I'm like, my goodness. Well, then why did Jesus tell the parable of the talents? And it's absolutely money. 100%. 20 years worth of wages, and then he said he gave it to him according to his what? Dunamis. According to how he knew who he was. That's what empowered it. It's what empowered Samson and David. And, Samson fought all those men. The Philistines are upon you, and Delilah, and he would battle and tricked her for many times. You remember that story? So then we've got, you're given money and talents according to this parable, according to your dunamis, according to your understanding of the power that is within you that God has put in you. And guess who did understand it? Yeshua. He understood it to the extent that it raised him from the dead. He didn't stay dead because it was Yeshua. It's a fascinating thing. What do you understand? Or are you possibly considering shrinking back? No, don't. Let's go. Men, it's this time. Like Alexander the Great, like William Wallace. Oh my goodness, I got pumped up over the holidays. I watched after the retreat and people went home or after our epic intensive, and it was a powerful week. And then we knew we were planning and prepping for Thanksgiving. And on my day of rest, I pressed play on Braveheart. Men, it's a powerful movie. Will you fight with me? And these guys, no, we will go home. We won't fight today. We don't want to fight. And William had a brilliant speech. He says, run and you may live, stay and fight and you may die. But as you're lying in your bed dying, someday on your deathbed, will you regret the fact that you had an opportunity to fight for one thing that they can never take from us if we fight? And that's our freedom. Your freedom is wrapped up in dunamis. Your freedom is wrapped up in this recipe that God has given us. It says dunamis, love, sound mind. 3 ingredients that will empower you and put you in the midst of the greats. Why am I telling you all of this? Because I truly believe that this recipe is exactly what will make you qualified to reign and rule with God. Now, again, you have your opinion, I have mine. You have your understanding, I have mine. Do you want to be a servant, or do you want to reign and rule with him? There definitely is a time and a place of 1,000-year reign. And it's obviously that some are defined as this. I truly believe that to the level and the extent that you love and trust and seek Papa, by the way, I don't think people that will reign and rule with him will know him as God, because even Yeshua himself, who ultimately knew more than anybody else his identity and became risen from the dead, that's how empowered he was by dunamis. He never called him God. He always called him Father, Abba, and told us that's what we need to know and see him as. And that when you see him, you see the Father, you see Abba, you see Papa. Matter of fact, he said it hundreds of times. And unfortunately, translations will translate it as God, even though he said Father. Thank goodness that when the disciples asked Yeshua how we should pray, he says, Our Father, our Father, our Abba, our Papa. So good. Super excited for you and your future, man. This is not a message for the faint of heart. This is not a message for someone that's giving in or throwing in the towel, or somebody that says, well, I'm tired, I can't keep going. Yes, you can. What do you think they did in the olden days? They didn't have a choice. They had to keep going regardless of how they felt. Their life depended on it. And unfortunately, we live in a different society and a different world now. We get to choose. And it's still happening, though. They're trying to take your freedom, freedom of mind, freedom of love, and freedom of courage and confidence. The enemy will try to steal, kill, and take that and strip that from you. The 3 temptations that Yeshua faced, if you are the Son of God, trying to tempt him in his identity. And then he says, all of this I will give to you. No, it's never given. It's earned. Go work for it. Not for your salvation, but for your inheritance, for abundance, for dunamis. It's a process you got to work out. But it's not by you pulling back or shrinking back. It's by you standing up and shining conquerors, like Alexander the Great. You're like, well, yeah. You mean like Jesus? Yes, like Jesus. But do you see him as a warrior? Do you see him as a shiny conqueror? Do you know that Joshua was that's the name, Yeshua, Joshua, the Messiah? And Joshua, what did he do? Lead the armies to victory, crossing over the Jordan, doing the work that was necessary to get the land. And guess what? It was physical land. It was physical riches and wealth, abundance, milk and honey. Why would it change from then to now? It wouldn't. You got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to stay the course and be confident at a whole nother level. That's what you're being called to in 2026. That's where we're going. We're doing Spartan races. We're doing things for our health. We're doing things for our wealth. And we're doing things for our relationships that we can have epic on every level. And we're not going to apologize about it, man. Join me. Let's go. Don't shrink back. Challenge yourself. Be willing to take yourself farther than you ever dreamed possible, physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. You got this, but you got to do the work. And so do I. I got to do the work. And I'm willing. Will you come with me? I'm not here to fight the battle alone. I'm not here to just bark orders and tell you to go. No, I'm saying, let's go. Let me lead the charge. On. Woo! Revelation 2:26 says, the one who overcomes, to him I will give authority over the nation. It doesn't sound like anybody that's walking in shrinking back or intimidation. You know, I was listening to this speaker, this guy, and he was like, he worked, you know, he was new guy on the SEAL team, and they were barking orders, they were on doing some training, and he's like sitting here trying to figure out what's going on. Nobody's moving. Everyone's frozen. Why aren't we taking action? And he stopped and he looked back and he looked at the situation. Like, no one's saying anything. No one's doing anything. My bosses, my superiors aren't saying anything. He's like, we need to do something here. And he spoke an order as if he was in charge, and everyone followed suit. They all did it, and it worked. And he got complimented by it from his authorities and his superior. Excuse me, the military. This is in the military. And he was like dumbfounded, but he realized, look, authority isn't given. You just do it. Do you believe in who you are? It reminded me of dunamis. It reminded me of understanding that, yeah, okay. How do we prove and know that we got what it takes? We do it. And sometimes we need help writing a different story. You know, I was having a great conversation with some people today about how important it is to know that Chantel and I are not here to fix you. You're not broken. You know, and I know that in the beginning, it feels that way when you first get started with us. Like, you know what? I need your help because I can't do it. And it does. It feels like, hey, okay, kind of got these training wheels. We're learning how to communicate. We're learning, you know, the 5 love languages, touch, quality time, you know, words of affirmation, right? Because you guys understand gifts. You guys understand the acts of service. Those love languages, yeah, the Amish and the Mennonites do really great at. But then you got quality time. You got love and affection and edification, words of affirmation. It's like, ooh, we're not allowed to do those. Those aren't good. Those aren't beneficial. And so, yeah, you may feel like, okay, you helped us get married. You helped us have a successful marriage. It must have been because we were broken. Well, again, you come from that fear-based culture, control, fear-based. So it's like sometimes in order to help you get to where you need to go, where it's freedom, we have to give you what you expect and give you what you need during that season. And now it's like we're excited that we get the opportunity to work with great leaders. We get the opportunity to work with amazing couples that are developing their legacy. It's no longer just about getting married. Now it's developing our legacy. Well, what does that look like? Well, that looks way different. Because now you're able to see that, yeah, you weren't on training wheels. You didn't need training wheels. You needed to believe and be confident in yourself and who you were. We helped you to see that. And yeah, we told you what to do in the beginning. And it felt that way because that's what you're used to. And then it's transitioning now into setting you free. But now we're going to help you get there faster. That's what we do. We support you. We love you. We want you to walk in freedom and autonomy and abundance. And then through our experiences, you're getting grafted into where you can have a massive amount of fruit and not have to have the years and years and years, 15 years for Chantel and I, over 15 years of roots, because we had, before we got together, God was preparing us for such a time as this. So you're talking many, many years of roots being planted, with whether it's her working through trauma and me working on strategies and skills and systems for development of business and systems and processes that are beneficial and the most efficient way to get places quickly. So these roots were grown through all those years. And guess what? You get to get grafted in. Super powerful picture. You can have fruit much quicker, but you're not broken. You're blessed. You're chosen. You're chosen to be the one, because we see your abilities. We see what God can see in you. And we're trying to pull the best out of you and help you to see it, and then launch you. Give you some rocket fuel. Let's go. Not lasso to hold you down. No, go fly. Go this way. Go that way. Oh, yeah. Add some boost to it. Go. Create a plan and a strategy so you can avoid some of those pitfalls and the cliffs and the, thorn bushes. Man, those hurt. Cactus. There they are. We've been there. We've been down that road. It's going to help you go down that road quicker than we did and avoid some of those things that will set you back. You'll get there on your own. You will. We believe in you. We know you will. But when we have the opportunity and the ability to guide you to get there quicker and hold you accountable to your dreams and goals and help you to have another layer, another exciting passion of confidence, come on. And then we team up. Think of it, team of even 2 horses, you and your spouse. Great. 6 horses, 3 different yokes pulling all together. Ooh, I was looking into this. Like, that's why they did that. The coaches, the great coaches, right? That meaning like a coach service that was running the wagon and the armored wagon and the horses could go a lot farther than one man on a horse. His horse would tire out before 6 horses would. They'd go faster, longer, harder, farther. Stagecoaches could outrun horses because of that. Super amazing to realize that. So many good things when you work together. That's why you're here. Thanks for being here. Man, that's why you're getting up at 5 a.m. and joining me every weekday morning. Wiping the sleep out of your eyes, getting a cup of coffee, and gaining some new levels of confidence, gaining some new levels of communication, gaining some new levels of commitment to where you can not just have any old thing, but you can have epic. Not just, mediocre. No, we want epic, and you want epic, but it takes work to get epic. You got to do the extra to be extraordinary. That's what epic it's all about. Creating extraordinary. It's an action. It's not sitting around. Revelation 3:21 says, sit with me on my throne. To him who overcomes, I will grant to sit with me on my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father. It's intimate rulership. Sharing with who? Yeshua. He's our high priest. And you are called to be the priest of your home and to do as he did, to love as he did, to have dunamis as he did. Yeah. Sound mind. What's going into your mind? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your legacy? What do you believe about your wife? It matters. How you see her matters. She's not weak sauce. She can handle it. She can handle it mentally, emotionally. She can handle it. She's strong. I know. We go through seasons of hurt and pain. We go through seasons My wife went through it. We had done the in vitro, man. Depression, dark cloud. I get it. It happens. But what helped her the most was helping her to believe in herself that she could make decisions again. Helped her to start regulate her hormones. It took time. Yes, it always takes time. I'm not saying it doesn't. The reality is your belief and you're creating a plan and a structure and a vision is what will bring healing and bring flourishing. It's what worked for me. It's what works for you. What works for humanity. That's why the word says, without a vision, we perish. It's real. The people that I have seen that are dying and depressed and frustrated because they had no vision. Me too. I went through that as well. It's when I was the lowest I ever was in my life and suicidal. Was when I had no vision. Matthew 25, 21, and 23, ruler over many things. He says, well done. You have been faithful over the few things. I will make you ruler over many, many things, much, much more. From the parable of talents, remember? According to his dunamis. So you get made ruler over more when you're faithful at the little, but that all ties back to your dunamis, your abilities, your knowing who you are. You'll act like it. You'll walk it out. You'll be more authoritative. You'll look and make eye contact. You'll be able to have great conversations. Do you see me? I'm doing this as an example to you of what you can do and what's possible. You've got what it takes. It's just practicing. You know how many times I've done this kind of videos, these kind of talks? Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times. I'm not even joking. And I still got a long way to go. I really do. But there's hope for you if I can do it. I promise. I used to have so much chatter. I still do. If you don't know what chatter is, we'll talk about it another talk. Luke 19:17. Well done. Because you have been faithful, you have the authority over 10 cities. This is amazing, right? It's another part of the parable, but just told by Luke 19:17. 2 Timothy 2:12 says, we shall reign with him. If we endure, we shall reign with him. It's simple and direct. Endure what? Knowing who we are, not believing the lies, having a sound mind, having love. If you have not love, you have nothing, right? Doing it. Embracing the knowledge of who we are, who God has called us, who Papa, Father, has called us his son. We would rise up knowing and believing that we would shine brighter, not shrink back, shine brighter, shining conquerors. That's what we talked about. It's our year. It's our year to have dunamis. It's our year to have more love. It's our year to have more self-discipline, mastering our emotions through our breathing, through doing what is uncomfortable. It's good for us. Woo! Hello. All right. I want to look this up real quick. A little bit deeper dive here on 2 Timothy 2:12. I think it's great. But in the beginning of 2 Timothy 2, and this is why. So be strong. You, my son, be strong, empowered in the grace that is found in Yeshua. So when we do a deep diving on that, even in that of understanding, this is Yeshua known as like Joshua. Same when this is my word from Papa this morning, even that he became human, that Yeshua was willing to lay down his life in order to bring life. Super powerful. So we've got verse 2 then goes into the doctrine at which you have heard me teach in the presence of many witnesses, entrusted to reliable and faithful men who will also be capable and qualified to teach others. We have to be willing to lead. If we're going to reign and rule with him, we have to learn these skills of leadership. Are you willing to invest in people and get to know people? That's what leaders do. They love well. How do you love? You learn about people. You form them. We've taught you these principles. You ask questions about family. You ask questions about what they do for a living and what they do in life to fill their days, their times with. What do they enjoy? What do they enjoy doing for fun? What are some of their hobbies? What are some of their goals in life, their needs? What are their dreams? Come on. Did you learn something new about your family? I challenge some of you. If you've been following me, I challenged you, men, to learn something new about your family last week. Did you learn something new? I did. My goodness, super blessed that my brother was here. Learned so much about him. Good and even things he wants to develop, that he wants to improve, things that he feels like he's falling short in. And I'm super blessed that he was willing to share that with me so that I can encourage him and inspire him in becoming better as a father, a husband, and a healthy man, full of strength, full of health, full of life. Super pumped for me. He's such a good man, such a hard worker, willing to do the work. So proud of my brother, Jesse. I love him so much. And it was great to connect with him. It's been a beautiful year of that, just having connected with my other brother on my mom's side, Marty, and being his best man at his wedding, to now this quality time with my brother Jesse and getting to really know his wife Jess. They spent time with us here at our ranch, and his first compost representation on our ranch, and his two daughters, Chloe and Sam, just amazing young ladies. Wow, they've grown up so much. And having that time with them, learning about the things that they love, what they're passionate about, what matters to them. It was amazing. Did you learn some of those things too? Are you loving people well? Are you learning to be able to inspire and lead? It's important. So it says, in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable and faithful men. How do they have many witnesses? They have willing followers, as we've called it in Connection DNA, our content. You have such great leadership abilities that people are willing to follow you. People are willing to listen to you. It's interesting. People are actually more likely to listen to my wife because I talk so much. They hear her more. It's really cool. But I'm willing, and I will keep going and keep speaking and keep asking and keep knocking, and hopefully continue to get better at what I do, my craft of communication, speaking, and training. Take with you, verse 3, 2 Timothy 2. Take with me your share of hardship, like a good soldier of Christ Jesus. No soldier in an active service gets entangled in the ordinary business affairs of civilian life. He avoids them so that he may please the one who enlisted him to serve. Focus. Focus on the mission at hand. Are you willing to be focused and not get caught up in all the drama? That's what we have to do as leaders. We have to make hard decisions, and we have to stay focused and keep the mission in front of our family, men. We do. The mission of connection, the mission of affection, the mission of intimacy. Men, you can keep the mission in front of them of empowering your family, helping them to feel loved. Notice dunamis, love, and what else? What is it that is coming into your home? What is it that your family is being influenced by? Are you bringing things into your home? Movies you're watching, music you're listening to. Do you know the lyrics? Are you paying attention to those because they are affecting it? News. Are you bringing negative news to your wife, to your children? What are you doing to protect your family in that way and being responsible for what it is you are bringing to them? That's what you're responsible for. Are you bringing the good news? Look, I understand we got to deal with reality, and there is a truth and things happening. But are you going to do something about it? How's that message coming to them? Is it bringing life or death? Because life and death is in the power of the tongue. You get to choose which it's bringing. Woo! No. Okay, verse 6. Verse 5, and if anyone competes as an athlete, he is not crowned with the wreath of victory unless he competes according to the rules. Look, you got to do the work. There's no like participation trophy here. Seriously. Unfortunately, that has created a very weak society that we got to do the work. And when you do the work and you hustle and you know you've put every effort you can into it, your heart and soul into it, you've done the work, you've done the practicing, guess what? You will be rewarded in public for what you practiced for many, many, many thousands of times for the repetition you did in private. You will be rewarded in public, and I promise you that. But are you willing to do the work? King David was. He was rewarded in public. How? Well, most famous man ever about victory over Goliath, and then killed his tens of thousands of men, one of the greatest warriors who ever lived. But he did the work. He protected those sheep when no one else was around. We didn't have a big audience to see him use that slingshot over and over and over and over and over, thousands of times, to wield that sword, protect, and learn the art of battle, the art of protecting his sheep and loving well. That was taught from lots of hard work. So it wasn't a fair fight when he fought Goliath. It was easy for him. That target wasn't even moving. Come on. So, verse 6 says, the hardworking farmer who labors to produce crops ought to be the first to receive his share of the crops. You think? Are you serious? This is out of the Bible? Wait, I thought. Sounds like capitalism to me. Sounds like what this country is founded on. Not a bunch of handouts. Not trying to create victims. I want to create conquerors, shining conquerors. Oh, I love little Michael. Richard, if you're listening to this recording, bro, seriously, record that for me. That little guy inspires me. He is so awesome. He was at our Epic Intensive with his family, Richard was. And little Michael was amazing. Mia was as well. Put your hand in, just the two children, just like conquerors, but he would say it all the time. So good. Think over the things I am saying, for the Lord will grant you insight and understanding in everything. This is verse 7. And then now we're continuing on. That's Matthew 2 that leads up to 12. What was 12 again? If we endure, we shall also reign with him. It's not about just, doing nothing. Got to do the work. Remember, Yeshua has risen from the dead, as prophesied and descended from David according to my gospel. For that, the good news, I am suffering even the wearing of chains like a criminal, because remember this is Timothy speaking, but the word of God is not chained or imprisoned. For this reason, I am ready to patiently endure all things for the sake of those who are the elect. I don't know if can you handle that word? It says for those who are the elect. Let's look at that. We're going to do a deep dive real quick, go into the Greek, the original writing. Because of all things I endure for the sake the elect. It actually says elect there. And when you look that up, it says chosen. Choice man, chosen ones, the select. Well, how do you get chosen? You choose. For every action, there's an opposite equal reaction. That was a law that God created. You reap what you sow. You choose Papa now. You choose to know him as Abba and Father, and you choose to pursue him for an intimate connection and relationship with him. Guess what? You're going to reap the same. Come millennial reign. He wants to reign and rule with those who love like he loves, who believe and know who they are. The dunamis power that he instilled in us is coming out of us, shining forth conquers, and being confident in that, and then being able to love with confidence and passion, and being able to handle the chaos, handle the craziness of the world, and love people in spite of that. That's sound mind. That's self-discipline. Mastering your emotions, able to handle the ice freezing cold water. Doesn't kill you, I promise. If I can do it, you can do it. It takes self-control, mastering those emotions. You think you're going to die when you first get in that water. Your mind plays tricks on you. This is freezing. Can I die from this? Can I really survive waters that are 38, 35 degrees, full of ice, and my body's shivering? I feel like I'm having convulsions. Yes. And guess what? You won't only survive, you will thrive. Your health will get better. Your blood pressure will get better. All these things will begin to adrenaline raise and strengthen and empower through going through a little suffering. Interesting. That's what the elect are willing to do. It says, chosen out of a personal preference. Oh, you mean there are some? Again, you reap what you sow. He's not playing preference, or he's preferring those who prefer him. He's just matching. Do you get it? He set up the laws. Doesn't matter if you're Christian or non-Christian, you can still get benefits from walking out and understanding the laws that God put in place. He didn't say it's only going to happen if you believe in me. No. He said if you practice those laws and principles, you will benefit from it. That's what he says. That's why we see that there are many wealthy billionaires that practice these laws and put into place these actions that create wealth and territories and money for them. Talent. That's what talent is. Money. Whoo. All right. May obtain the glory eternal. Come on. This is what you're going to be rewarded by too, is glory eternal. Not just temporal, but also eternal. Super awesome. Just then, reign and rule with him during that time. So, think over these things. Okay, verse 8 says, remember, 9, sorry. We already read 8. Oh, sorry. Remember Jesus Christ, risen from the dead, descended from David according to my gospel. For that, verse 9, I am suffering even the weary chains. Like, oh, I'm sorry. We already read this. No, it's repeating it, isn't it? Okay, verse 10 says, for this reason, enduring all things for the sake of those who are the elect. That's what we got to. So that they too may obtain salvation with which is in Christ Jesus, and with it the reward of eternal glory. This is faithful and trustworthy saying. If we died with him, he will also live with him. If we endure with him, we will also reign with him. If we deny him, he will deny us. If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself, because he is in us. There it is, verse 12. You endure. You'll reign with him, rule with him. Endure what? The confidence of knowing who you are. Dunamis, loving well, and a sound mind. I want to challenge you tonight. This is it in closing, that you truly will reign and rule with him during that time. You're like, when is that? I hear that's what matters, is that you're prepared for it, whenever it may be. Because it says in those days, the dead in Christ shall rise first. So you're always prepared in life and in death. And that's what I'm really passionate about. It's raising up men that will yoke with their wives and become one flesh and truly walk out what that really looks like, to be one flesh and raising up an army that will reign and rule with Papa. You're worthy of knowing that and believing that, and you got what it takes. But now is the time. Now is the time to step up and be victorious, to lead with dunamis, to lead with love, and to lead with a sound, disciplined mind. God bless you, man. Great night. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time, next week, right? And we'll see you tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., because this is bonus, right? Tomorrow morning, we'll see you. We're going to carry this on, keep talking about finding love, keeping love, and making it epic. What does that look like in relationships, confidence, communication, commitment, the power of those things? Some nuggets, some tools. For those of you that are single, for those of you that are married, let's go. See you at 5 a.m. Shining Conquerors. Love you guys.